Hey friends, Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report, because without you guys, well, this would be nothing. And I mean, this would literally be nothing. I want to thank everybody who jumped into the live stream last night. Our live stream is growing like crazy. Every week we had Law Nation in here giving us his thoughts and players that he thinks are players to watch and what he was thinking about Zeke Elliot. So let's go ahead and get to that while we're here, because it is the 800-pound gorilla in the living room. Okay, so the NFL, figuring that this was going to be literally a three-ring circus, didn't have it at the league office. They had it at an undisclosed location where Zeke Elliott had his appeal hearing and all that. Don't expect to hear anything today, tomorrow, or the next day. The earliest would be Friday, because they've got to come out with the whole written statement on what they think and so on. But realistically, don't expect them to drop anything. Harold Henderson has been in the NFL's pocket. In fact, was a former VP of the NFL. So, it's kind of like you're a kid. You get in trouble with dad, and he puts you on punishment, and you go back to dad and say, Dad, why don't you go ahead and let me go out anyway? Chances are dad ain't going to let you go out because he wants to punish you. But I keep looking at this thing, and I keep thinking about Greg Hardy being convicted, who got 4 games. Keep thinking about Josh Brown, who was convicted, who got 1 game. And here it is, Zeke Elliott hasn't had even an arrest. Mind you, there's been some things that he's been out that have been questionable. We're talking Boobygate, of course. And, maybe he needs to understand that he needs to stay out the limelight. He's only 22 years old. And I sit here and look at Michael, and Michael's 5 years older than him. And I think, 6, huh?
No, he's 22.
He's 22, you're 27.
I said 21.
No, I said 22. He just turned 22. Damn, kids always know everything, don't they? But I think about his maturity level, and then you take off 5 years. And I think back to when I was 22. I'll just leave it at this. In college, I was known as Crazy Mark. And that's all that needs to be said. So expect this to go to court. Regardless of whether the NFL comes out with their hearing, results for the hearing. If they don't come out, I believe, by Monday, then he's playing against the Giants. And if he does come out before Monday, I believe that they're going to be taken to the court. To bring in the big guns, they're basically setting it up for the long haul. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. In other news, I told you that Jerry Jones has basically said, well, we're going to accelerate Jaylon Smith on the field. And today in practice, he was getting first-team reps. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but, it's kind of like the next man up, and the cupboard's getting a little bare. I know from personal experience, I came back playing on my knee well before it was ready. And I kept it a secret that it wasn't ready. I knew how much it was moving around. I didn't have an ACL, and I was 3 weeks away from having surgery back in, of course, the stone ages of the orthoscope. But I wanted to be out there so bad that I compensated for it. I hit it. I played with it moving around and prayed that it wouldn't go all the way. I'm hoping that he's a lot further along than I am, or I was, and I'm praying that Richie brace and the tape job that they do will help keep it together, because I don't want to see him get set back and have to go back through a long rehab again. So we've got that situation going. And it looks like also Jerry Jones is going to keep 3 quarterbacks on the roster. I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing, because if somebody gets hurt, you got to bring somebody else in. Kelvin Moore hasn't shown well, but at least he's familiar with the offense. And when you think about butt fumble that we had here last year, there's not a whole lot of options out there as far as backup quarterbacks. Hopefully, Dak doesn't get hurt, because that's the bottom line. You don't want Dak hurt. Well, okay. Michael says sign Kaepernick. Yeah. So that's not going to happen. I'm not even going to talk about the subject, because some of you guys are really, really passionate about that, and it's I just don't want to get into it. It just gets to be where we can't have a conversation anymore. So other than that, friends, that's about all that's going on. We're getting ready for our last preseason game, which really is just an audition for guys for their next team. So any other news, I will be sure to bring it to you guys tonight before I go to bed. Now I've got to go back up here because I'm making a little pot of chili. It's kind of chilly outside and wet, and it's kind of like one of those days that a bowl of chili would be really, really good. So as always, friends, I'm Mark Holmes. This is Cowboy Joe Boo, and over there is Michael, keeping me straight. Hope you guys are having a great night.